Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you guys can see, we are in the ZR2 today, and you'll see that we're on the highway. We are actually on Interstate 85, and we're gonna be headed down to Georgia. As you guys saw in the last video, you guys know that we locked up the stock LS2 in the Corvette. Well, I happen to know a guy that knows a guy that had a forged LS2, basically a rod and piston motor ready to go. And yeah, so basically what we're doing today is going to go pick up a new motor. I also need to stop at Harbor Freight and get a engine crane, engine hoist, whatever you want to call it, as well as an engine stand, because the motor is ready to go in, but of course, you know how things go. While we're in there, I'm going to do a couple upgrades while the motor's out of the car. I've got some stuff I bought a few years ago, put that in the motor, and yeah, but that'll all be for future videos. So, all right guys, we should be approaching the North Carolina state line. Actually, it's right there, so it says South Carolina, so one state down.
Welcome to South Carolina.
There you go, thanks Google. So that's one state down, two more to go. We gotta drive through all of South Carolina until we hit Anderson and the border there with that lake. I forgot what lake it is. There's the famous butt crack or dingleberry of Gaffney, South Carolina. I don't know what you want to call that, but or it's one of the Kardashians. Take that as you want it. So yeah, that's the famous peach of Gaffney. So yeah, all of South Carolina on Interstate 85 is under construction. I think there's only like maybe 2 miles of it actually being done, and then just the rest, like I said, has been under construction. That 1 or 2 miles that's done is actually nice, but I want to say it's probably 50 to 60 miles between the North Carolina border and all the way to Spartanburg. Pretty sure this whole road is under construction, so hopefully in a few years when they finish this it'll be nice, but until then it kind of sucks, because you know it's just 2 lane. It should be like 3 or 4 lane in each direction, and yeah, so we've got roughly about 2 hours 45 minutes until we get there. All right guys, we're over Lake Hartwell coming into Georgia. At some point we'll hit the Georgia line. Yep, there's the reservoir, lake, all that stuff. Oh, here we go. Welcome to Georgia.
Welcome to Georgia.
All right, so we are through the 100 and probably 30 miles of South Carolina, whatever that ended up being. And yeah, I think still says we're an hour and a half away, 82 miles. Man, it's a long way. So we'll pick this up when we get the motor and start heading home. Alright guys, as you can see, we are back on the interstate. We're on Interstate 85, and we are, I don't know, maybe 30-40 minutes outside of Georgia. And we got exactly 200 miles to get home, so I guess we're about 45 minutes outside of Georgia, because it did say 3 hours 45 minutes to get home. I might run into a problem. I need to go to Harbor Freight and buy a engine hoist and engine stand. I was at Matt, the seller's house, for just a little bit too long, and yeah, so kind of running into a timing issue here of trying to get, you know, to Harbor Freight before they close. But yeah, if you guys can see in the bed, we do have the engine block, the tarp, and the moving blanket I put on there. That's kind of it's kind of flapped up a little bit, but we are headed home. All right guys, if you can see, well, I just actually ticked down, but we were averaging over 21 miles a gallon, and I've been doing between like 70 and 80 miles an hour pretty much all the way from Atlanta. I've hit a couple pockets of it being 55, 65, but yeah, we're not far from the North Carolina border, actually. I think we might be a mile or 2 from it, but yeah, so we're headed home, and kind of said some bad news about the Harbor Freight thing. So I typed it in. We wouldn't get there until 8:05, and they close at 8. So unfortunately, we're gonna have to continue this video tomorrow. Actually, it just got dark. We might get light here in a second, but yeah, so I think we're gonna have to continue this video tomorrow and go get a hoist and engine stand. But yeah, as you guys can see, the block is sitting in the back here without issue. Yeah, the blanket but the blanket and tarp had blown up a little bit. That's fine. There's 3 or 4 ratchet straps on that thing all tightened down, so we're good to go there. But yeah, like I said, Harbor Freight will be closed by the time we get there, so I'm just gonna go home, have some spaghetti for dinner, and we'll pick this up tomorrow. Alright guys, it's the next day, and as you guys can see, we did get a bunch of new parts from Harbor Freight. Got a 1,000-pound engine stand, that might be a little bit overkill, and I also got a 1-ton engine hoist as well. Now they do sell a 2-ton, but honestly guys, that's like 4,000 pounds. That's way above what I'll ever need. And you guys will see that we do have the V8 here ready to go. I have my lift plate installed. I bought this lift plate on eBay like 13 years ago, something like that. Yeah, I actually bought that back in 2010 when I did the heads cam swap on the Corvette, the LS2 that's in there. So we're gonna have to kind of redo all of that, but I did order the lift plate for that. So we're just gonna use the lift plate that I already had. And yes, this is all taped off. This might look a little bit ridiculous, but you know, we spent so much time trying to saran wrap and keep this engine sealed. Kind of want to keep it like that. So yeah, so I just kind of put painter's tape on the edges, and basically I cut a slice down the middle so we put the lift plate on. And yeah, so now I'm ready to get the engine out of the truck and finally onto the ground. Unfortunately guys, I will not be able to put it on the engine stand because I forgot to buy the hardware, and I'll be honest, I don't remember what the pitch or thread is for the GM transmissions. It's probably something simple, but alright guys, so as you just saw, we did get the motor out of the car. I have it on the kind of, let's call it a pallet. It's not really a pallet, it's just some 2x4s screwed together. Then I've got it on a moving dolly underneath it. I moved the engine hoist back in the corner over there. That's probably not going to be the permanent spot for that, but I don't have a really great storage solution for that. And the engine stand, I have no idea where that's going to go. But I did actually want to go over the details on the motor. Now, this is a 6-liter LS2. It is a 24X crank. So the reluctor wheel on the crankshaft is 24. It's not 58. That was, you know, I did make sure before we bought it, because the E40 ECM in the Corvette is that strictly that 24X. It's not a 58X. I think Lincoln Felter sells a box. I'm not sure which way it's compatible. Either you're able to put a 58X into a 24, or you're able to put a 24X into 58. I don't really remember which way that converter goes. And I'll be honest guys, I didn't want to deal with another converter or another box, something that could fail in between the engine and the ECM. It's just another electrical component. So yeah, so I didn't want to deal with that. But yeah, the motor is bored over 10 thousandths over, so I think it technically rounds up to 365 cubic inches. It's got those, like I said, it's 10 thousandths over. The pistons are forged pistons from Summit Racing. I actually found out, I believe that's the Wiseco Pro line is what the builder told me. Basically, you know, Wiseco makes the pistons for Summit Racing. Summit throws a label on it, and they're good to go. I believe those pistons are good for 1,000+ horsepower. And the rods are K1 rods. I think I looked up, those are good for like 1,200 horsepower. Everything else has been balanced and blueprinted, so everything's been weighed, all that. The guy showed me the receipt, had over $1,200 in machine work on the block with all the fitting, the weighing, and all that. And as for the bottom end, everything has been upgraded with ARP hardware, and we've had pretty good luck with those. So the rods, the crank, everything's got ARP hardware. So I probably am going to be doing that to the top end as well. I think we're going to drill out the top bolts to 1/2 inch and look for a set of LS9 heads or whatever we need to do, whether we go stock casting or aftermarket casting. But I want 1/2 inch head studs, LS9 head gaskets, and ARP hardware on those 1/2 inch head studs. So, and yeah, so that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you guys want to see more video updates on this, we've got a bunch of stuff coming. We got to choose cylinder heads. We got to work on those studs. If we do that, hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. And if you guys want to help support the channel, check out the links down below. I'll try to have some links to the tools that we use today, and also make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. Any contribution you guys can make there, buying stickers, t-shirts, whatever, that goes right back into the channel, goes right back into this build, and well, hopefully it will help us afford some of these, you know, the heads that I want to buy. And so yeah, that's gonna be it. Thanks guys, have a great one.